Hello and welcome to Age-Friendly Bay Area, a program that explores services and resources for older adults in the Greater Bay Area. My name is Scott McMillan, a board member and one of the co-founders of a nonprofit called Villages of San Mateo County. Today we're going to meet some of the other leaders of this organization. Villages of San Mateo County is committed to helping older adults to age better while living independently in their own homes. And we're going to find out how they do that. Now it's my pleasure to introduce our guests today. All three are board members of Villages of San Mateo County and have been instrumental leaders in creating what I believe is a truly fine organization and a valuable community partner. So it's a pleasure to have three people here today that I've worked with for 6, 7, 8 years even perhaps. So I want to thank you all for being here. Let's start with Randy Kutnewski, co-founder of Sequoia Village and president of Villages of San Mateo County. Randy, tell us a little bit about how you got involved.
I got involved when I went to a meeting with Scott and a couple of other founders, and we sat down and talked about the villages, and I was hooked. So from that point, I did a little bit of everything, and now I'm currently the president of the Villages of San Mateo County. I manage the office, which is the hub for connecting members with volunteers. You'll hear more about those things later. And I also volunteer. I drive people. I go to farmers markets and make presentations and get involved wherever I can.
Great. Well, thank you. I know you've done a lot. I'd like to now introduce Maureen Sostak, the co-founder and chair of Village of the Coastside. Maureen.
Hi, I'm Maureen, and I'm very pleased to be here today. I'm pleased that Village of the Coastside, a very active village, is now part of Villages of San Mateo County, and we have more influence that way with being a larger organization. And I've enjoyed working and founding the Village of the Coastside for 8 years and 2 years with Villages of San Mateo County.
Wonderful. All right. Thanks, Maureen. And then our third guest, Eric Hansen, co-founder and chair of Mid-Peninsula Village.
Hi, Scott. Yeah, I got involved in Mid-Peninsula Village when I retired, and I realized that I had been pretty focused on my career and not very well connected in the local community. And most of the career things that I had done were coming to an end because I had retired. And I figured, well, you know, I live here. I want to meet people and do things and connect with people here. And the village has been fabulous. So I help organize things. I help recruit volunteers. I do service things and attend events. And I've met a lot of great people. So it's a great way to connect with the community.
Good. Yeah. So our listeners and viewers will recognize by now that we're really three villages: Sequoia Village, Mid-Peninsula Village, and Village of the Coastside. And I like to use a little alliteration to describe the area that we cover. We cover from Millbrae to Menlo Park, and on the coast side from Pacifica to Pescadero. So we're covering quite a bit of San Mateo County to serve older adults. And the whole idea, I think, is I might have described earlier, is helping older adults to age better. And largely that means they want to continue to live in their own homes, so we help to make that possible. So I'm going to show a few pictures now that I think will demonstrate a little bit about village activities that I want our viewers to know about. There's one of older adults, another one of older adults playing on playground equipment. It's not only kids can have fun, right? A group of people at one of our 4th of July parties. And 2 friends enjoying a ride in a convertible and one of their favorite snacks. And what I want to say about these photos is that they really demonstrate some important concepts and information about village activities. It's about friends. It's about remaining active. It's about being independent older adults as we continue to live in our own homes, and it's about making connections. We all know that there was a problem of isolation during the pandemic, but it looks like through our activities, Villages of San Mateo County was able to find ways to bring people together to enjoy their lives. So I think those photos help demonstrate that. Now, Eric Hansen, as chair of Mid-Peninsula Village, can you tell us a little more about some of the fun things that you and the villages do?
Yes, Scott. Yeah, our village creates many types of social events which help to connect our village members together as well as our volunteers. And these events really help us to get to know each other better and have fun together. And also, as you mentioned, isolation is an issue for older adults, and so these events combat that. As we age, we all have an issue with potentially getting isolated. So one type of village event that we have are excursions. And so here's a photo of the excursion to the aircraft carrier Hornet. So that was, a way to get out in the sun and see an interesting thing. And then another excursion was to the USS Potomac. And so these are all events, places that we've gone to. We've gone to many other points of interest and museums in the Bay Area. And our outings normally also include a lunch together, which gives us additional opportunities to connect with each other. So a different type of social event that we have is an outdoor walk. We do these every month or two. And these are a great way to enjoy the fresh air together and to chat with other village members and volunteers. A lot of fun. And then we also have intergenerational events. For example, we had an event with a group of high school girls from the National Charity League where they helped our village members understand how to get more out of their smartphones and tablets. And this was a great event because not only our village members, our seniors, learned more about the features that they didn't understand, but it was actually an interesting challenge for the high school girls because they were getting asked questions in ways that they had never thought about. In other words, the way the question was asked was not the way they thought about their phone. So they had to put their heads together to come up with the answers, and it was great. We also, from time to time, have parties and lunches together as a village group, and those are another great way to connect. And then we have a speaker series that we call our Coffee Connection, and some of these are speakers that basically tell us about things that are relevant as older adults. Others are just plain fun, like a musical event. So all of these social events are a really important component of our village life, and they build connections between our village members and also our volunteers.
Fantastic, yeah. And having fun is something that you've emphasized, and I think that's really important to realize that to come out of potential isolation, to connect with each other and to have fun is really important. So what was one of your favorite activities of those you've
So I really like the outdoor walks, and I think my favorite one was the first one we took this spring, which was around Anza Lagoon right next to the San Francisco Bay. And it just happened to be a perfect weather that morning, and it was, a great pleasant walk around the lagoon. And also another nice thing was we ended up at a coffee shop where they had pastries and coffee,
and that was a
fun.
perfect walk, Eric.
Yeah.
I went to that walk from coming over the hill, and I was able to sit with people after the walk and meet them in your village, and everyone was just so friendly. It was really nice.
Yeah, that one worked out great.
Excellent. So now I'm going to turn to Randy Kutnewski. Randy is the president of Villages of San Mateo County. Tell us about the exciting new village partnership activities that are going on, and what were the benefits and how did those get started?
Sure. In the normal course of running our village, our volunteers meet our members. They go to their homes, they help them with technology, they give them rides, they do handyman things. In the course of that, we discovered that many of these seniors had large gardens, large yards, and weren't able to tend to them anymore, weren't able to take care of them and do the weeding and all of that, but they really wanted to. So we thought we could build some gardens for them and make that a possibility for them to enjoy being outside. And we became aware of an organization called Each Green Corner, which does that for all kinds of organizations. Will build community gardens, and the extra vegetables that come about are donated to various organizations. So we partnered with them, and then we selected some of our members who had yards and were interested in doing this, and we would build or help reconstruct their planting beds. We would bring in the dirt. We would bring in all of the vegetables, the plants, seeds,
starting with seedlings.
Mostly seedlings, and set them all up, and then do the maintenance over the course of the plants, the weeding and the watering, and whatever else needed to be done. So a lot of the harvests, and you'll see, this is a picture of the setting up of a garden. In this case, the planter was there, and it just needed some help and to be refurbished. And then in this picture, you're seeing these huge squash plants that were a great harvest from this garden. And then the squash and zucchini and cucumbers. And the members just enjoy it while the volunteers are working in their gardens. They're out there. They're talking, they're looking, they're participating as much as they can. But it's really given them a way to really enjoy their gardens and being outside and engage with the volunteers in a different manner. So it's been a wonderful program, and we continuously have requests for that.
And so you described that the harvest goes first to the member, I think?
Yes.
So they can enjoy some of the produce, and then all the extra goes to the food bank.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, second harvest.
That's great. One of our members, where we started one of our first gardens, Alice, you remember?
Yes.
She called them the green gardens of giving, and she said it was a double gift because not only did she get to see the vegetables grow, but she had younger people coming by to tend the gardens, and so it was social interaction for her, which was just wonderful.
Yeah, it's been a wonderful, wonderful program for us, and we're glad to be able to do it with handymen helping build the raised beds and other folks who just want to tend the gardens and spend some time talking to the member. The other program that we've gotten involved in the community is called the Medical Equipment Loan Program. And that was started by a number of Rotary clubs, Belmont, Redwood Shores, San Carlos, us, the villages of San Mateo County, and the City of San Carlos Age-Friendly Task Force.
Great.
In our normal services with our members, we're noticing, and we had requests for walkers, canes, shower seats, various medical equipment, and we started collecting some of it. People would donate it to us, and then we would put it on a program we call Village Treasures, and people could say, I need that, and we would deliver it. In conjunction with these other organizations, it was decided that it would be good to have a central point in San Mateo County. And so it was developed. We have a storage place, we have a program, we have lots of equipment. We launched on June 5th at the San Carlos Farmers Market, and the San Carlos mayor did our ribbon cutting. And so we take in the equipment and refurbish it, clean it, sanitize it, make it ready.
So
and
there's
then,
a photo here that shows a bunch of the equipment coming in.
Okay, and these people are cleaning it, making sure it all works correctly, and power washing, and as I said, sanitizing and all of that. And then we have a storage area where all of this is cataloged and inventoried, and people can come to the storage when they need something. They call us, and they can come to the storage, pick out, make sure it's the right size, or if they can't do that because they can't get around and they need this equipment, we'll deliver it to them. And this is free. So it's just taken off. It's been a wonderful partnership with those organizations that I mentioned, and has really provided a service. And other places that had a few things in a closet, like some of the senior centers had a few pieces of equipment. I recently was in urgent care and hurt my leg, and the doctor said, well, I can give you crutches. And I said, well, what about a walker? And she said, well, I don't know where to get one of those. So I said, well, I do.
So you went to the MELP program?
Went to the MELP program and was able to get that equipment the same day.
Excellent.
So it was just fabulous.
Yep. So you mentioned the opening ceremony, the ribbon cutting of the medical equipment loan program. There's a photo of that on the screen now.
Yeah.
And it shows people from the Rotary clubs and from the village, and also the mayor of San Carlos cutting the ribbon.
Yeah. Wonderful.
So if people want to get medical equipment, how do they do it?
Oh, there's a number. You'll see it on the screen. You can call that phone number, and they'll set you up with everything you need, ask you what you need, and then you'll come in and try it on for size and take it home. And when you're done with it, you can give it back to us. But there's no time limit, and as I said, it's a totally free program.
That's great. So I've heard it described as it's people friendly, of course, because people can get the equipment they need really fast and at no cost. And it's also planet friendly because these items are not going to the landfill, they're getting reused, and we're avoiding the remanufacturing of things that really didn't need to be manufactured again.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win.
Yeah.
Okay, before we go over to our next guest, I have one final question for you, Randy, and that was, if I can find my question here, tell us a little bit more about how you see villages being a beneficial partner to the community.
Our members live in the communities that we serve, and by enabling them to stay in their homes and participate in other community activities, it's a benefit to the community. We provide our volunteers for other community types of events. We just get so much out of it. I visit so many when I take people for drives. I hear about their lives. And so we hear their stories. We have artists, we have marathoners, we have bar owners, we have engineers, we have nurses, teachers,
People from all walks
of life.
Yeah.
And they can use those skills that they have in the community, but they become viable members of the community, supporting it. The community, we as the villages, and then the other communities that support their populations, have the advantage of having a happy organization, a happy demographic that is pleased to live in that community. And we get engaged with some of the cities and the age-friendly councils and things like that to help structure some of the programs that might be coming out of the various cities that we have on the coast side and the bay side.
Yep.
So yeah, it's really a benefit to everyone.
Excellent. So we'll hear now from Maureen Sostak, who introduced herself earlier. Maureen, why do people want to volunteer for the villages?
There are many reasons that people want to volunteer. Volunteers are the critical lifeblood of our organization. And they want to help people. They want to use the skills that they developed during their careers to continue. They want to make new friends, like Eric. Most of our volunteers work over the hill, and when they retire, come to the coast side and realize they know very little about the coast side or the people that live there. People also want to feel good about themselves. They want to feel that their new time that they have if they retire is being used correctly and makes them feel good about the time that they have. And rather than becoming a couch potato, they're out there making new friends and helping people.
Yeah, excellent. I have some photos. Shall we look at those so that you can see some possible volunteer activities?
Like Bayside, we have been able to take advantage of the gardening project through the nonprofit, and we have now 2 gardens, and one is well underway. That's our member Roberta, and as you can see, she has had some success in the plants. We have an additional challenge on the coast side. as to weather. And like this summer, it has been mostly foggy and mostly wet. And so we have learned what are cool vegetables to be able to plant. And so we're experimenting. We do not plant tomatoes. So
No, it's a different climate over the hill.
yes.
So there's another type of volunteering activity that you told me about that was kind of exciting.
Oh, this was very unique. We have established a partnership with the high school in Half Moon Bay. And students in Half Moon Bay High School have to serve 30 hours of community service prior to being able to graduate. And in establishing our partnership, it's been a challenge to think of what young students could help us with. But one came up that was just very unique. One of our members bought a new car, and she did not have the patience to learn the navigation system or to get her phone attached. And she loves to listen to audible books while she's driving. And we were able to have a student come and work with her. He got her nav system working for her. And her phone, she can now talk to it through Siri on the car. And she can also listen to all of her audible books. So she is one very happy member.
Yeah, real benefit of intergenerational activities.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah, that's great.
I could use that.
I know you said that. I wanted to set you up.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what have you personally achieved or gotten from volunteering, Maureen?
Oh, it gave me a lot of purpose after retirement. Once I retired, it was like, oh, what am I going to do? And I started out going to the gym, and a founder of Village of the Coastside was also a gym member, and she did a lot of recruitment. And she knew I had a finance background, so she asked me if I was interested in helping the village get their books established, get their accounts established, and do some bookkeeping for them. And I agreed to do that, and then found myself involved in this great village where I was able to meet people. I also had that trouble of not knowing people on the coast side. And so it got me in at the front door.
Okay, so we're looking at a photo now that I think is kind of special to you. Can you tell us about it?
Oh, I can. This is one of our members, Janet. She's in a wheelchair. And I met her through getting her involved in finance activities when I first started. And so she helped with some of the bookkeeping, and I introduced her to how to work the computer programs. So we became very fast friends over the years. She hadn't seen her family in about 5 years, and her family lives in Seattle. And I said, well, how about a road trip? And I have this great car, a Mustang convertible, and she just loved it. We went to I took her to all her doctor appointments that she had, and her wheelchair fit perfectly in the back. And I used to love to wheel her around everywhere. And we found all the disability access points that were available. But the car ride to Seattle was very unique, and she just really loved seeing her family, and it just really bonded us very closely.
So that's interesting to see how the volunteers for members of the village can turn into a friendship that goes on for life, really.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
So there's another type of volunteering that came about during the pandemic. Maybe you can tell us about this photo.
Yes, Roberta, who had the garden that we looked at earlier, had surgery recently and isn't able to really volunteer like she used to volunteer. She used to do different things, like even taking people to different events. And since her surgery, she's been unable to do that. So she volunteered to make friendly phone calls. And we have many members that just would like to have a touch base call, just checking in. And Roberta does that for us on the coast side.
Yeah, excellent. So we have lots of volunteer opportunities within the village. You've talked about some of those today. I'd like to mention that we four are leaders of the village, of course, but we have a big leadership team, over 40 people, each person with their own responsibilities in their own little niche area. Some are big, some are small, but it all works together to keep the mechanics, the machine of the village running. And for somebody on the outside looking in, they might say, oh, well, it's all complete. I guess I can't really join that leadership team. That's not true. We have lots of opportunities.
Right,
Yeah.
there
So
are.
if somebody wanted to be a volunteer, whether just the one-on-one tasks or joining the leadership team, how can they do that?
Well, they can just contact the office, Villages of San Mateo County. Our email is on the screen right now, and the telephone number. We also have a great website, and the website is under villagesofsanmataocounty.org. However, it is divided into the 3 villages that we do have. And so for any village that you want to join, you can look it up on the website. There's excellent information.
Okay. And Randy, if somebody wanted to
Yeah.
be a member of the village, what do they do?
Well, they go to the same place.
It's on the screen.
But we also can be found at farmers markets in the different cities, and we go to make presentations at service clubs and churches and other organizations. And you can learn about us from your friends and family. The word of mouth is really a good resource. So you can go and same thing that Maureen mentioned, and sign up for the particular village, and then just give us your information and someone will contact you. And I also want to mention we are a membership organization, and we do have scholarships available for members who need the extra financial support, but really want to be in our village and are exactly the person that we want in the village. So we
Great.
have a way to accommodate that.
Excellent. Well, I've just been signaled that we have less than a minute remaining. I'm always astounded at how quickly our
Yes.
time goes during these interviews. I want to just take one quick second to make a shout out to the senior centers of our county. A lot of people don't realize the fantastic resource that is there, whether it's San Carlos, Twin Pines and Belmont, San Mateo Senior Center that you're familiar with, Eric, and the brand new Burlingame Community Center, brand new Millbrae Senior Center, 2 senior centers in Redwood City. One is under reconstruction at Veterans Memorial at Flood Park, and the other one in Fair Oaks is excellent senior center. So thank you for the partnership with senior centers, and I'm going to wrap now by thanking you, the guests, for being here, and I want to thank the crew behind the scenes that makes this production possible. Viewers at home, thank you very much for watching today, and we hope that you'll join us for the next edition. See you next time.